Hello, good morning. This is Scott Jarvie. This is Photographer's Life channel, and we are doing a cheap and easy photography review. Cheap and easy because I'm giving more or less my first impressions of a location for you that want maybe considering coming out here to do photography. Give you a little head start. Obviously, you can do a lot more research than what I'm about to give you, but this is about, 5 to 10 minutes of information that I can spill out for you. Can you guess where we're at? It looks kind of like Monument Valley, doesn't it? Well, we're close to Monument Valley. I did a review on Monument Valley as well, so go check that out. This is called Valley of the Gods. And let's give you a little peek right now. It's also got a dirt road loop through this valley and all these rock formations. Lots of places to pull off. Maybe the road isn't quite as large to just kind of pull off to the side like at Monument Valley, but there are plenty of pull-offs itself. So here we go. Here's some of the more, this is basically at the very tip of the loop. So if the loop were to go, start at the main road and go like this and come back around, we are at that far point right here. And so now we're finally starting to go back towards the road. And the Milky Dugway is another kind of cool location. So to ubicate yourself, that's over that way, like far over that way. There is a ridge with this really interesting road that goes up it. And then also, let's do this, I think Monument Valley is over there. So we're definitely in Utah. All right, so this is Valley of the Gods, and actually it's one of those places that I feel a strong affinity for. I don't even know why, like, the formations aren't, like, as super impressive as Monument Valley. But Monument Valley is private land. It's Navajo land. This is just, like, I feel like it's my land. Like, it's no one's land. This is actually considered BLM, the Bureau of Land Management. So they just manage the land for us. It's our land. And so there's not as many rules. I don't feel so constricted. Here, like, you can just pull off to the side of the road, camp pretty much wherever. They're just depending on you to be respectful to things, and obviously they do have signs and not like drive off road and stuff like that. And you know what? Like the libertarian in me just feels very okay. So the libertarian in me feels like we can be respectful on our own without people forcing us to do so. And so I tend to respect these types of locations even more. Like I feel like I need to be more careful with these places because there's no one forcing me to do so, and I don't have any rebellious streaks like, oh, I'm going to do this, even though it's not allowed. Just kidding. I am always perfectly well behaved. Okay, back on subject. Sorry about that. Little different things or thoughts. Things are called thoughts in my world. All right, so back to photography. Look for these formations at sunrise and sunset. Sometimes they don't get lit up terribly well. It is a cloudy day, or I would be showing you that the first light hit this area really nicely. We camped over there last night, and we were able to do time-lapse stuff there. The moon sets kind of behind here. So I did a time-lapse of this section, and it was really cool with the stars until the moon set, and it gets pretty dark here when the moon sets. So we had about a 40% moon, and that will light up everything really nicely. And when the moon goes down, that's like 2 or 3 stops darker. So you have to change your settings or deal with much darker scenery. Much, much darker. Maybe even more than 2 or 3. And then I did another time lapse of kind of like a big scene here. Okay, another thing you should know about this location is that there are a whole lot less people coming here than places like Monument Valley. It is kind of far away, tucked in the corner of Utah. It's far from Moab, a few hours. It's far from pretty much everywhere. From Page, Arizona, from Las Vegas, you're going to be traveling most of the day. From Salt Lake, it's a long ways out here. But so there's few people for that reason. And because they maybe feel like, oh, I'm not having to pay anything, it may be not as good as Monument Valley. And the features in Monument Valley are photogenic, a little more photogenic, honestly. But you got some cool roads. Try to get some maybe with the road in it, like this. Focus on just the tip, like that. And let's go find some other stuff to show you. And there's even some spots with some makeshift fire rings in there. And old shot up cars. Beds. Truck beds, I guess. Alright. Okay, so I moved to a different location just to give you a different view. The thing about these formations is, especially this one, you get really close to it on the other side over there and this side, and you're not too far away from this side. So 3 of the 4 sides, you're very close, which makes it very accessible. These aren't huge. They're not as big as Monument Valley, once again, to compare. And you get pretty close to that one, of course. And you could come out here and get some decent panoramas. So this would be a decent spot for panorama. And let's talk about the road a little bit. I have a kind of a crossover, like a Super Outback type vehicle. It handles it just fine. And to be honest, a sedan will do fine as well. Though these roads are very difficult when it's wet. Parts of them are fine, but there are crossings over streams that will become large streams when it's raining. So keep that in mind as well. And I do not see many locations for hikes, like little day hikes. There may be some in the park. If you know of them, let us know here. Try to get some decent foreground. These little bushes, if you can get them in, go down there, get them in there. They provide actually pretty decent texture. And if you can find a tree and get down a little bit lower to make it look a little more impressive, that'd be great as well. You can try to come here at really nice lighting times. Sometimes this area will get the really blue skies with big, dark, patchy clouds, and that's pretty awesome. And it'll make the lighting on the landscape a little splotchy as well. You can definitely a place for night stuff, like I mentioned earlier. And sunrise can be difficult. It's always the never-ending discussion or struggle to figure out, do you want to shoot against sunrise or sunset or with sunrise and sunset? And it's going to be the same thing with the moonrise and moonset. So I did some silhouettes with the moon, and then, well, you know, against the moon, I guess. And I did some with the moon, having the subjects lit up, the rock formations lit up. All right, so that's going to conclude this cheap and easy review. It's really early. I'm kind of stumbling on words, and I'm sure you'll forgive me because this was just for fun, an easy review of this location to start your thinking about whether you want to come here and what you may do. Look for some more tips and information, and if you have been here, please feel free to comment about the location. I know my review doesn't have anything. You don't have to comment about that. You don't have to comment about my review. You can just comment and give us more awesome information about this location and what are your favorite formations. Is there a fun trail around here? What activities have you camped here? If so, how long? And have you seen a lot of people? Does it get a lot more people in the summer compared to right now, like in March? Love to hear all this information. I'm sure the other listeners would as well. So put that in the comments and have a good day wherever you're at.